And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of New Earth TV Live on a special Sunday edition. So today we're going to be doing some really amazing, first we're going to do a very amazing guided meditation. It's going to be kind of like a guided meditation journey. And we're going to be doing some distance healing after that, and we'll be taking some questions from the audience later on. So to get things rolling, we'll go ahead firstly and start off with some announcements.
Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And of course, private sessions are available, 15-minute, 30, and 45-minute sessions, as well as 3-question email sessions done offline. Again, I'm doing sessions up until the end of September, and I'll be taking a bit of a break for the rest of the year, and then sessions will be returning in January. So again, I'll be having a bit of a couple months hiatus from sessions. So again, if you want to grab a session, just go to newearthteachings.com and book in. I'm starting to get some bookings now for September. So go ahead and check that out at newearthteachings.com. And of course, all content on this channel is backed up by Odyssey. So again, you can go and check out the Odyssey link. It's odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Firstly, with a guided meditation journey. Okay, so it's kind of like a story that I'm going to be bringing to you guys through guided meditation as I just connect deeply with spirit. That will be the very first thing that we'll be doing. So let me just go ahead and change the window here. There we go. Okay, so what I'd like to invite all of you to do right now is just get yourself nice and relaxed. Now, if you also want to just go ahead and lay down, if your couch is nearby, if your bed is nearby, just go ahead and lay down as well too if you want, or you can just sit, whatever you prefer. And just get yourself as relaxed as you can. If you're sitting, making sure your spine is nice and erect. If you're laying down, make sure you're getting yourself nice and comfortable. And just very gently now, closing your eyes. And just being aware of your whole body, from the top of your head, all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Just being aware of any sensations within the body. Being aware of the flow of energy within the body. I want you just to imagine yourself in a space that is not within your concurrent reality. That you now realize that you are in another space. And just opening up the eyes in your astral body, you are seeing yourself amongst the grass. Looking at yourself from the astral body perspective, where your astral eyes are opening up, and you just see yourself seated or laying down upon the grass. And as you gaze along the grass, as you lift your head, you see yourself in a beautiful, spacious earth, where the nature that surrounds you is covered with aurora borealis-like colors. That you see this beautiful open meadow And throughout the meadow are these beautiful oak trees that radiate this aurora borealis color effect. And you stand up, rising up, just looking around the forest that surrounds you, and you can feel the trees all around you singing. As they sing, there are fluctuations of the aurora borealis energy, where it flows and glides throughout the air, through the song of the forest, to where you are in the central meadow of this beautiful singing forest. And the waves of aurora borealis flow through you. You can feel these waves of color flowing through you. And the melody that you hear through this forest illuminates your being. It fills every cell of your body with such delight, with such joy, and such bliss. And that it fills you with so much joy that you are able to feel your astral body levitating off the ground. And as you look down on your feet, you see that your feet are several feet off the ground. You are hovering in the air. And you decide to venture closer and closer to the forest, moving past the meadow, going ahead to the north, venturing deeper and deeper into the forest as you levitate your way forward. As you explore the wilderness, you see a greater intensity of that aurora borealis energy. You see it filling the sky. You see all of that energy protruding from every single tree. And it fills the sky with such a magnificent glow of an array of colors. And now you hear the entire sky singing. This whole earth is singing to you. It is a delightful melody. It is angelic. It is etheric. It is a beautiful heavenly atmosphere. And all of this music wants you to move upwards further past the forest as you levitate yourself way above the treetops and moving further up towards the sky. And you look back down at the forest and you feel that beautiful array of colors representing the aurora borealis. And you can feel that aurora borealis, those color frequencies, gently caressing your body, just as they're gently pushing you further upwards, telling you, go further up, go upwards more. And you comply. You feel yourself lifting yourself up even further until you start to touch the tip of the sky. And as you do, just before you appears a flight of stairs that are also made of aurora borealis colors. You are seeing a flight of stairs at the tip of the sky, specifically for you, where you are being invited to walk up these stairs. And so you bring your body to the first stair. You touch your feet upon the first step, and you feel that it is indeed solid. And you slowly make yourself up this grand flight of stairs. And you continue to climb the grand staircase, made out of Aurora Borealis. Continuing to climb each and every step, moving further and further upwards as you see the tip of the atmosphere of the earth as you continue to climb upwards. As you climb to the top of the stairs, there exists a large door. And upon this door represents ancient writings, and it is of material that cannot be defined, for it is the material of the ether that represents this door. You place your hand upon the door, and you feel such a warmth that you really cannot even describe. It feels like a living door. The door is alive. You can feel its living energy. And you can feel its warmth and compassion, as this is your door. And what lays beyond it is for you, and only for you to witness. And so you push open the mighty door, and the door swings open with very little effort. And inside, you see a beautiful oasis. You see cascading waterfalls flowing throughout the entire room, like a room of 1,000 waterfalls that are all in sync with one another, where the water itself is also enriched with Aurora Borealis. It is a colorful waterfall. 1,000 waterfalls, all beautiful in their divine colors, enriching the entire space. They radiate that pure love to the falling waters. And that these falling waters continue to flow throughout the entire crevices of the room, to where you will never see the end of the waterfall, but you just see the cascade of the water continuing to radiate its love, radiate this beautiful Aurora Borealis. For you do not know where the water comes from, and you do not know where the water is going. Nonetheless, you see the water. You feel its love. You feel its heart. And as you look ahead, the waterfalls before you start to part, and a long corridor emerges. As this corridor emerges, the brilliance of the moonlight shines upon the corridor, telling you to walk through the corridor and continue forward. You are mesmerized by the beauty of the waterfalls, by the beauty of the room, for the entire room feels alive. But you continue to walk down this narrow corridor that is being illumined with moonlight. And you continue to walk down the corridor. As you continue to walk down the corridor, the walls of waterfalls start to fade away. And the floor turns into transparent blocks, where you are able to look down, and you are walking across the atmosphere of the earth. And every time your foot touches the floor, it creates the Aurora Borealis colors once again. And you feel the floor, and noticing that every step that you take, it becomes softer and softer. It becomes so soft that it feels like you're walking on clouds. It becomes so soft that it feels like you're walking on air. And you are able to see at the edge of the corridor, there is a being there. A being dressed in beautiful white robes with sacred geometrical patterns laced all around the robe. You grow curious, and you come closer to the being. And as you come closer, you have the impulse to suddenly stop. The being lifts their head. They know that you are here. And the being slowly turns around. And as you look at this being, you see that it is indeed yourself. But it is yourself shrouded with the aurora borealis colors that fill its body. This being that is yourself approaches you gently. And you look down at their hand, and you see that they are holding a beautiful pearl. And they take your right hand, and they place the pearl upon the right hand. And they take your left hand and place your hand upon the other area of the pearl, where both hands are now holding the pearl. This version of yourself now places their two fingers, the index and the middle finger, upon your brow. And they tell you in a soft voice, "Make your wish." And as they make this statement, they step back. And as they step back, the body itself starts to fade away, fading away back into the ethers. And here you are now, looking forward directly at the shining moonlight, holding this beautiful white pearl in between your hands. For you have been given a wish that you can now personally fulfill, as this pearl is available to you one time only, to make the wish that you wish to make. And so you look at the pearl, and as you look at it, you see that it transforms and becomes transparent as it shapes together with your mind, for it will become the wish that you make. Take a moment now to ponder what your wish might be, and once you have your wish ready, say it to the pearl. And now that your wish is made, the pearl vanishes. And the world that you occupy now starts to open itself up even further, unfolding itself. As you see on the other side to where the moonlight was, now you see your home dimension. Now you see the space to where your physical body occupies. As the world transforms with the beautiful light of the aurora borealis, surrounding left, right, up, down, and is now unfolding itself so that you can return back into your physical reality, back into the home dimension to where your physical body dwells. For this whole journey, shows you another world that resides within yourself, and that the journey of beauty leads to its conclusion, where you are offered a wish. Know that that wish is done. Know that that wish is accomplished, and that you can now return to the physical body, completely content of knowing that you have made a difference through yourself. Now you step through that corridor into the physical plane where your physical body lies, and you now return back into the physical body. As you start to return, you can feel that world now slowly starting to fold itself back in, and it returns back into the splendor of your own heart. That the world that you witnessed resides within your very heart. And taking a moment now to slowly return and calibrate yourself back into your body. Slowly starting to move the fingers and the hands, rotating the wrists, curling the toes, rotating the shoulders, fluttering the eyes. Just making very slow ginger movements as you return back now into the physical body, back into the present moment. And when you are ready, you may return and come on back. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. That was a very, very powerful guided meditation. I'll be doing these every single week through Newark TV Live, taking you guys on special meditation journeys. So again, that space that you witnessed resides within the heart. And the deeper that you go into meditation, you're going to feel these other realms that exist deeply within yourself, and they have rewards for you. So it's wise to continue to work within the heart, visit these realms that are beyond heavenly, and explore them, because they always have a reward for you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you again for joining me for the Earth meditation. And the next thing we're going to go ahead and move into now is we're going to do a group healing today. I would normally do individual distance healing, but because I'm still kind of getting over a cold, I don't really want to do kind of too much energetic exchange work right now. So we're going to do a group meditation, a group healing, okay? And we're going to do it through the clear ball technique as well. And then after that's done, then we're going to get into some Q&A, okay? So if you guys do have some questions for me, you can feel free to put that in the chat. But next, we're going to go and do some group distance healing. So let me just go ahead and change the window now. Okay. Glad you guys enjoyed that meditation. It was very, very beautiful. It was wonderful. The feeling of the aurora borealis was very much what I experienced when I was going into the new earth. Because as I said, I had an astral projection experience where I was able to go into the new earth and I was seeing just aurora borealis flowing throughout all of nature. It was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And I wanted to incorporate that into your meditation so that you guys could get a chance to experience that as well too. So you were basically seeing a bit of a taste of the new earth with that particular guided meditation journey. So again, next week, next Friday, with Newark TV Live, there will be another guided meditation journey. So I'm going to be doing a lot more guided meditation journeys for you guys. I may even make some videos down the road as well too, with more guided meditations for you, for all of you. Okay. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and do a group distance healing session. So just get yourselves nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable. And what I want you to do right now is just place your hands upon the center of your chest. With your eyes closed, I just want you to scan your body, okay, starting at the top of the head, going all the way down the body nice and slowly. Just feeling this wave of light scanning the entire body, going all the way down to the bottom of the feet. I want you just to be aware of how you feel, how you're feeling physically, how you're feeling emotionally, and how you're feeling mentally. And just be aware of that now as you do your body scan. Okay. And now with your hands upon the center of your chest, I just want you to imagine that there is a clear crystal ball contained in the center of your chest. And through your body scan, I want you just to be aware of all the areas that you feel are compromised physically, emotionally, and mentally. I want you to imagine that you're just guiding them through the body, guiding those areas that feel stiff, dense, conflicted, just like you're seeing it like a type of black tar. And you're just guiding that energy directly into the crystal ball. This crystal clear ball contained in the center of the chest. So if you have a headache, you're just feeling all of that tar-like energy just moving all the way down into the crystal clear ball and being absorbed directly into the crystal clear ball. If you're feeling any pain around your feet, your knees, your hips, again, just seeing it like that black tar and just moving it upwards and just letting all of that tar-like energy be absorbed directly into the crystal clear ball. Any emotional heaviness that you're feeling, again, seeing it like that tar and just moving it directly into the crystal clear ball. So whatever ails you, just see that energy as that black tar-like substance that you're placing directly inside the crystal clear ball. And I'll give you a minute to do that now. Okay, so now you're feeling all of that tar-like energy contained inside the crystal ball. So now I just want you to imagine like you're just reaching inside and you're just pulling out that clear crystal ball and you're just holding it in between your hands. And as you're holding the ball and you're seeing all that black tar-like substance, we're now going to say an affirmation together, the apologetic affirmation. And so you can repeat after me. I apologize to my body for being neglectful regarding these conditions. I ask for my body's forgiveness, and I ask for Divine Spirit's forgiveness to clear away these conditions, purging it from my being, to be purified and to be forgiven in totality. And so it is. Okay, very good. So just holding the crystal ball there now. And now I just want you to look at all the tar debris contained within the crystal ball. And I want you just to say to it, I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. As you continue to say that, the ball starts getting smaller and smaller as you work to bring both hands together in prayer posture, saying again, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. And just continuing to see the ball getting smaller and smaller as you slowly bring your hands together in prayer posture. I want you just to hold that there now. Divine Spirit, their conditions are forgiven. Apply. Okay, and with your hands together now, I want you to feel a very bright white light emerging from the middle of the palms. Just feeling that light just starting to shine its rays in between your fingertips. As you open it up, seeing this beautiful white ball like a sun that is just floating in between your palms. I want you to take that ball right now and just put it back into the center of your chest. And just let that light melt deeply into your chest. Let it melt deeply into your body. Let it bring balance to the body, to where there previously was imbalance. And let the light completely caress every facet of the body now, so that everything is put into harmonious rest and harmonious recovery. And feeling the light now fading, ingraining itself deeply into the heart of your being. And you may return. All right. Very good. Thank you, everybody. Again, thank you for joining me with that. So again, if you guys do have questions for me today, we can have questions on any topic. Okay, any questions that you want to talk about in the chat, you can feel free to put it in the chat. And again, like I said, I hope you guys have enjoyed the meditation. Hope you guys are enjoying this healing as well too. Like I said, there is no greater healing, no greater healer on the planet than yourself. Okay? This is all about just helping yourself to realize, I have all the answers. I truly do. It's all in here. The intellect does not have all the answers because that's ego. But my true heart does, because my heart is where spirit dwells. And spirit contains all-knowing. And as long as I tap into that, I can get a taste of that as well. Thank you. Okay, so while we're waiting for some questions, let me just go ahead and go into live chat here. While we're going into some questions, I'll just say hello to everybody that's here. Christine says, thank you, Brad. Let's flip the script of the old programs and write our own story of heart-centered healing. It's very good. And that's exactly what we've been doing today on Newark TV Live. So very good synchronicity there, Christine. Thank you for that. And good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Good evening. Yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the meditation. Some people saying it was beautiful and magical. Great. Magical and beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate it. Like I said, if you guys enjoyed it, I'm going to be doing a lot more of them. Okay? So it was quite an experience to do. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it too. Carrion says, wow, felt I was a step ahead as you were speaking. Great. You're in sync. Very good, Carrion. Okay. Okay, so we have one question here from Lisa, L-A-I-C-A. Lisa, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. Is the president of Turkey one of the counterforces? So let's take a look at that. The president of Turkey, is he one of the counterforce members? So I'll just give the cards a shuffle here, and we'll see what the cards say about that. Okay, so the president of Turkey, is he on the side of the counterforces? Okay, so what I'm getting here from the past is that I think he was going through some processing. I think he was going through some trial in that particular way. So I'm not too sure if it's the same guy that is the president of Turkey. It may be somebody else that has taken his place. Okay, so there definitely is counterforce activity taking place regarding that president. But I feel like he may have fallen out of the fold in that sense. So I don't think he's there anymore. So to me, it feels like there's been a replacement. Okay, so it looks like there's a doppelganger that has now taken the place of the president of Turkey, and now he's going to start following the rhetoric of the counterforces. Okay, so the old fellow that was once the president of Turkey is no longer around, so they basically have replaced him. Okay, so he's now been replaced by somebody else, from what I can tell here from the cards. Okay, and of course that new person is following along with the counterforce routine. Okay, thank you very much for your question. All right, let's see here. Okay, this one here is from L. Bellevere. President Trump return date by August. Well, I can't give dates, guys. Right? I really don't want to give dates, but we'll take a look and see. I guess you're meaning if he's going to return to office in that way, or if he's going to have some sort of presence back into presidency. Okay, if this is going to happen, or let's say around the summertime. Okay, I don't want to give dates and stuff like that because those have always been unreliable. But let's take a look and saying, will President Trump be returning back to office around the time of the summer? Okay, let's see what that says. Okay, so I'm not getting the feeling that he's going to be returning to office around the summertime, but basically he's been very busy behind the scenes, helping out, right? Working together with generals and the alliance all together, so he's really been keeping busy. He's been fulfilling certain plans, agendas that he's been working through, okay? So he has another particular position behind the scenes. It's not so much a presidential position as it's kind of more of a commanding position that he has, okay? And he has been working diligently with the counter forces. So he's been working together with plans and agendas all together. He's also been working with plans to try and take down more of the corrupt, okay? So there's been a lot of stuff that he's personally been putting a lot of his investing of time into. And I think he's still going to remain like that behind the scenes for quite some time, okay? So I cannot guarantee that he'll be coming back into a presidential role. That's a possibility, but I don't see it at 100% for sure. It feels like he's kind of adjusting to a new role behind the scenes, helping out with the alliance and performing these particular agendas that are taking more and more of the cabal out of the picture. That's really where he's spending a lot more of his time right now. So I can't guarantee that he'll be back in the office or anything of that nature. Okay, so it feels like he has this new role he's still fulfilling. So at least for the summertime, no, I don't see anything about him returning back into presidency or Oval Office or anything of that nature. Okay, he's busy with other things, from what I can sense here. Thank you very much for your question. All right. Okay, this question here is from TLC. TLC says, thank you, Brad. Question, how to deal with friends who are perpetually negative? I deeply care about her, but she can sometimes dampen my high vibe. So it sounds like you're talking about a specific friend in that way. Okay. So what you say firstly here is I deeply care about her, but. Okay. So remember, like I said, whenever we're feeling down, when it comes to family, when it comes to friends, like I said, that becomes our own problem. So we have to address that problem that we have. Basically, the whole idea is to be completely at peace with those whom you care about, even if they're going through rough times. Even if they don't think too highly of you, you're not going to that level with them, right? So again, if there's a problem that's coming together, that is our own problem. And we have to make sure that we're correcting that we're taking care of that, okay? Don't worry about friends being negative, okay? If you're reacting to that, then you're basically the one that's creating that problem, okay? Just love your friends, just love your family for who they are. That's it. Regardless of their political views, regardless of how they see the world, regardless of what they're going through personally, that's not for you to be concerned about. So if you truly love them, if you truly have so much joy and happiness and bliss, and you care about them a great deal, then the whole idea is if we're putting any particular type of vibes out, where we feel like, oh, well, they're presenting this problem to me. Well, no, that is how you see a problem. You are seeing a problem through what they represent. It's like I've said, guys, you're the only one here. You're the only one that exists. And so when you're looking at that through your friends, through your family, where you're seeing some traits about yourself that maybe you don't care for, those are the problems that you need to resolve. So this is why I introduced the prana transmission technique, everyone. You're working with prana transmission technique to clear away the troubles that you are facing in regards to a catalyst within your life who is telling you about yourself by how they react to you. Okay? It's your subconscious, guys. You're just playing with your subconscious. Your subconscious is showing you facets of yourself that you are not in harmony with. And that's what's got to change. So when you no longer are bothered by those things, you'll notice that your relationship between your friend or your family will be very much neutral, right? There's no animosity. There's no conflict. There's no brouhaha. None of that stuff exists anymore because you're catching the idea of what this friend is trying to show you about yourself. Okay, so whenever we feel like she can sometimes dampen my high vibes. Okay, well, that's the whole idea. If we're looking to just constantly be in high vibes all the time and knowing that those high vibes can be dampened, then basically what you're doing is you're trying to formulate an escape. It's not about forcing yourself to be positive, everybody. Okay? There's a time and a place for positive energy, but that positive energy is just working as a reinforcement to balance out the negative. You are not meant to be living positively. You're meant to be living in balance. Everything is perfect. And that's the way to live, is to know that everything is perfect. That has nothing to do with positivity, and that has nothing to do with negativity. That has to do with truth, right? Knowing that everything is perfect. So if I have a friend who's perpetually negative and saying, oh, she's doing this to me and she just acts really, really negative and it's really, really just killing my high vibes here. Okay, to me, that becomes a problem because what I'm noticing about myself is I'm trying to escape. I'm trying to escape with positive energy and positive high vibes. And as soon as something's coming up, well, then that affects me. Like, oh my God, are my vibes getting killed here? Okay, so again, we cannot go through that state of escape with positive energy because again, that is where we're becoming insecure. So we need to look at what the friend is doing because she's doing you a great favor. She's showing you facets about yourself that you are still not at peace with. And so now we do something like prana transmission technique. We look at that thought surrounding our friend. Here's all the feelings, here's all the emotions that are coming up regarding that friend of mine. And now I start doing prana transmission technique. I start doing that breathing work, right? And then I notice, oh my goodness, that thought is becoming less and less impactful to me. It's not affecting me so much anymore. I do more prana transmission with it. It now is completely neutralized. Yeah, is that thought still affecting me? No, not anymore. Great. Can I let it go now? Yes, let it go. And now after you do prana transmission technique, you're not bothered by what your friend was doing. In any ways, you're thankful to her. Thank you for showing me those aspects of myself that are now telling me I was not in harmony. I was not in resolve pertaining to these matters. And now that my friend came along and she started saying these things negatively, it helped me to realize what I was still holding on to. It helped me to realize that there was a gaping hole within myself, and I needed to heal that. So I'm very thankful to my friend for being negative. I'm very thankful to my friend for being a little bit assertive with me in that way. And now I'm healed. I'm completely clear. Now the relationship between you and your friend changes because you no longer hold that inflammation surrounding that thought of identity where you felt your vibes were being killed is now gone. Now you're completely in harmony. Now you're completely balanced. So now you have a whole new relationship to forge with your friend. That's what's beautiful, guys. You see, you're not here to change the world. You're only here to change yourself. When you notice these things are coming up in your life and you realize that they're really taking a toll on you, if we ignore them, then you're going to go and cascade further, deeper and deeper down a rabbit hole, feeling like you're just plunging yourself into chaos. But when you catch these things and realize, oh, this is what's attempting to be shown to me, it's for me to have patience, peace, and tolerance for everything that exists in this world. It is for me to put a rest in peace gravestone onto anything that represents the past. I'm healing the past. I'm harmonizing the past. I'm no longer caught up in these affairs of chaos and harmfulness, harshness. I am able to clear all that out. I am now a clean slate, and now I continue to live my life beautifully because I've cleaned all that stuff out. And it's thanks to my family. It's thanks to my friends. It's thanks to what I see in current events. Okay? So we're not here to try and get everybody to force everyone to be nice so that I can be happy. That's a trap, and that's a wrong thinking. Okay? It's about me being able to look at all the facets of the world from the lightest to the darkest and not be bothered by any of it. That's the idea, guys. You're not here to bend the world to your will. Okay? You're not taking this metal pipe and trying to bend it. There, now it's bent to my will. Okay? We got to get out of that delusion because that's not why you're here. And the reason why I bring this up is because it's very common. Okay? People want to try and change the world to fit their own insecurities. And you're looking at the wrong message. That's not why you're here. You're here to look at all the world in the entire spectrum that it is and be completely at peace with every facet that you see. And if anything bothers you, that's your responsibility to clean up. It's not anyone else's fault. You see the world in the way that you see it, and it will only ever be seen uniquely by you in that way. So when all these things are hurting you, that's where you need to stop, and you need to start looking into these things, and you need to start healing them. Okay? So basically, you can walk through the world regardless of where you're going. You can go right into the ghetto and not be bothered by anybody that's there. You're walking like an angel, walking upon this beautiful path, shining his or her light everywhere. That's the idea. Okay? It is to be imperturbable. It is not to be disturbed by anything that this world represents. That's how you're free of it. You're free from this world when you do not mind the way the world is. So please take that into consideration. That's what we're here to do. Okay? Thank you very much, TLC. Okay. Excuse me, guys. I'm still getting over my cold. I'm nearly done. I'm nearly past it, but there's still a little bit left. So guys, I really don't take any kind of real estate questions or mortgage rates or financial questions. Okay, guys, I'm not a financial consultant, so I have to pass on those kind of questions about mortgage rates and all that stuff. Like you're asking the wrong guy about that, right? I just do not look into that stuff. Okay, so I have to pass on those questions. Yeah, so sorry guys, I'm not really doing any personal healing today. Like I said, I'm still kind of under the weather. No, I'm going to wait till I'm a little bit better, 100% better, I would say, before I do any personal healing work on anybody. Okay, but Gertie, as you had this question about your daughter, right, has very, very tired and has a condition called cerebellar neuropathy. Her name is Rochelle. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is just start working with the prana transmission technique with her. Okay, so Gertie, you can do that. Now, if you also have the healing code cards, you can also work with the healing code cards on that as well too, right? If it's something regarding neuropathy, maybe you can work with the nervous system. Maybe you can work together with the brain enhancer as well too if you have the cards, but also just working together with prana transmission technique, teaching this to her. Okay, wherever there's physical pain in the body, that's what we can lock onto, and we can help to work with the breath and start softening it more and more. Okay, so Gertie, I'd like you to show her prana transmission technique. And if you haven't done it, I'd like you to do it too. Okay? And you can work with each other on that, and it will certainly help you both. Okay? Thank you, Gertie. This one here is from KD. Sorry if you've answered this before, but do we live on a toroidal field Earth? And we currently are in a dome on top of a small portion of the true Earth size that will vaporize next March. Sorry to disappoint you, KD, but none of that is correct at all. Okay? From what I have received, from what Spirit has always shown me, is that we are indeed on a round planet. Okay? It's not flat. It's not toroidal in shape like a donut or anything of that nature. Okay? It's ovular in that way. It's kind of like a bloated soccer ball. Okay? So when you're looking in the idea of a hexagonal sphere, that would be the actual geometry of the Earth. Okay? This is what I've been shown. This is what I've been told. This is what I've viewed for myself out of body. Right? Is being able to look at a honeycomb Earth. Okay? So basically we're looking at a honeycomb Earth. We have a little bit of a bloated soccer ball in that way, but it's a hexagonal sphere. Okay? So you look at the six-sided object, a hexagon, and you create that into the form of a sphere, and that is the actual geometry of the Earth. Okay? Has nothing to do with a flat Earth, has nothing to do with a dome, has nothing to do with that. No offense to people that are sharing that, but they're completely misinformed. Okay? It's just not what I've been shown. It's not what I've received. It's not what I've witnessed going out of body, looking at it. Okay? So that's what I can share about that. Thank you, Kitty. Okay. I have talked about it quite a bit in the past. So I've always kind of shaken my head with people who are flat earthers and stuff like that. No offense to them, of course. Like I said, this is what they heavily believe. But again, what you believe to be doesn't mean it's true. Right? There's a difference between a belief and what's actually true. Okay. So just give me a moment here, guys. I'm just looking down the list to see if there's more questions. Okay, this one here is from Denise. Denise says, is Prime Minister of Canada going to be arrested for crimes against humanity anytime soon? I think I did one on him not too long ago. Basically, like I said, it's not him anymore. The real Trudeau, or the real Castro Jr., has been out of the picture for quite some time. So it's basically just a doppelganger that's taking care of things right now. But like I said, it's mostly just a life movie with what we're experiencing right now. Okay, we'll get into your question here in just a second. But yes, there basically will be Nuremberg trials for the entire planet, for everybody who's basically violated them. Okay, from Canada to United States to Mexico to everywhere, right? So basically every particular country where their leader, their appointed government, has violated the Nuremberg Code. Every single government official that has done that will be held accountable for that. So yes, that is definitely coming, and that kind of feels like more of a 2023 year thing. Okay, but we'll take a look here firstly at Castro Jr. Are we going to see, even if it's the doppelganger, the idea of Castro Jr. Being arrested, being detained, being taken away, and losing all of his authority here in Canada regarding Nuremberg trials? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so in the past, like I said, he's not really even here anymore. This is nothing but just a doppelganger in that way, right? So the whole idea here is that everything that represents him just isn't really a factor anymore. He's not here. He was basically trialed and processed quite some time ago. I think he's no longer on the Earth plane anymore. I think he's left the plane. This is basically what this is telling me. He's gone. I think he was actually executed, right? The real Trudeau, anyways. And so, yes, there's been some big significant changes taking place. And like I said, what we see here on the news, on the mainstream media, in front of the scenes, is not the real thing whatsoever. Okay, it's nothing but a show. It's nothing but a staged event. Okay, so yes, we're going to be starting to move away from that particular type of leader in that way. So we will start to see some trials. Like I said, trials mainly happening behind the scenes have kept it very, very hush-hush. But yeah, we're pretty much seeing that every doppelganger, body double that has been erected through the cabal is being taken down. So to me, it doesn't look like this is going to be much longer. It feels like there's some off-world assistance that will be helping to round up these people as well too. They're doppelgangers, or being able to spot out these doppelgangers, where they're located, who they really are, and being able to end the entire charade. So my feeling is it's more like a 2023 thing. I think if there is Nuremberg trials that comes in and becomes a lot more predominant, right, and that's something that is a little bit more notified in the public arena, then it'll probably be around 2023. But we're already seeing the end and the fall of all of these doppelgangers, the body doubles, the cabal situation itself. It's not really even existing anymore. It's existing on screen, but it's not existing in real life, in the best way I can put it. Behind the scenes, they're already past all that stuff. Behind the scenes, there is none of those particular leaders that are calling the shots, that are trying to create these tyrannical agendas. There's none of that anymore. That's just in regards to in real life, in the best way I can put it. But on the screen, on the mainstream media, in the news, it's still going, because it's just part of an old routine. It's still part of a narrative. It's still part of the life movie. It's like I said, nothing that you see on television is real. None of it, right? It's all fake. It's all storyline. It's all basically part of a coming of age ceremony, because everything that's happening behind the scenes is way past that now. So it's kind of like we're just getting the regurgitation of things that have already happened, and they're just running these things through the mainstream media like it's a rerun, like it's just, again, oh, this is already happening. This is what's happening right now. No, that stuff's already happened. We're long gone with all that stuff. This is just regurgitated rhetoric for the sake of the sleepers, to waking them up bit by bit more and more. Excuse me. So that's what we're seeing. None of it's real, guys, right? It does not matter what we're seeing with leaders, politicians, anything of that nature. It's nothing but a fake. It's all fakeness being thrown upon the mainstream media to show people who are still asleep, to try and wake them up bit by all this planned narrative. Right? That's the idea. Okay, so thank you, Denise, for your question. Okay, so we have one here from Galactic DNA. Any info on the financial reset ETA? It's basically what I've said before quite a few times. Okay, if we're looking into the financial reset, it's going to start showing itself up here as we get probably around the fall time and winter time. 2023 feels more of the year for that time of financial reset. I don't need to look at it because I looked at it several times already. And it's basically just saying the same thing around 2023. Okay. But right now, there's going to be peaks of it. We may start to see kind of like these little curves coming forward as we get closer to the end of the year. And from what I can see from as we get into the latter half of 2022, things are going to be looking up a lot more, not so down. Okay, I think people are now starting to realize just what I'm saying is that, yeah, I think Brad is onto something, that this is indeed just a narrative, that none of this feels real. It just feels like it's a game. It just feels like it's a stage show, a life movie. That's it. It's not just me saying that. Janine has said that on numerous occasions as well, too. And I completely agree with her. I just see this more and more as we're looking into this stuff. None of this stuff, none of this rhetoric in front of the scenes is real whatsoever. But yes, there is going to be some financial changes. There's going to be some financial shifts. There is going to be a new financial system. And like I said, that feels more in connection to 2023. So that's all I can really say about it right now, is that there are plans moving forward where we're going to see more and more of the new financial systems coming together. They're basically just looking to tank the fiat system, And as the fiat system continues to tank, which is happening right now, then again, the financial systems of new will take its place. Okay? Thank you, Galactic DNA. Okay, this one here is from Edith. Edith says, question, can you look into what happened to the cattle that died in Kansas in the United States about a week ago? Thank you. Okay, so dying cattle. I think I heard something about that, where a lot of cattle were killed in that way. So let's take a look at that, see what brought that up. Okay, my guess is it may have had something to do with weapons technology. It may have to do something with electromagnetic frequencies. It may have to do something with EMF. It may have to do with some sort of experimenting or testing that was going on in that way within that area. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was something like 5G or any other particular form of electromagnetic field problems. Okay, so to me this feels like there's healing going on, so to speak, with it. But to me it felt like some sort of gone awry experiment or something intentional. I can't say if it was intentional or unintentional, but it feels like electromagnetic weaponry was involved with something of that nature. Okay, so that's what I can share about it. So thank you, Edith, for that question. So Galactic DNA again asks, is Elon Musk taking over Twitter in line with what you have said previously about corporations changing over? Taking over Twitter in line with what you have said about corporations changing over. I'm trying to get what you're trying to ask, but Elon Musk, like I said, he's part of the alliance. He's part of the counter forces in that way. So he's, I don't know. Again, I'm not really too sure of the question that you're trying to ask here. He's really not really taking over Twitter. He's basically the figurehead for it. But he's not really just calling the shots 100% his own way. He's basically been put into that particular position. I guess you're referring to the idea that corporations will also have a similar effect to that. Yes, that's basically what's happening. That we're seeing more and more corporations being taken over by new heads in that way. But they're basically being deliberately put there during this transitional phase. So if that's what you mean, yes, that's quite correct. Okay? All right. And he asks, will all debt really be wiped out? In time, yes, guys. You can only have debt through a fiat currency system. Okay? As long as that fiat currency system is still around, they're still trying to create some debt. But that's really not the way things are going right now. It's starting to feel like there's going to be a lot more debt forgiveness because the fiat currency system is on the way out. Okay? You can only have debt through a system that encourages debt, through a system that creates debt. When that system is not around, you don't have any more debt. So it's pretty much out of the picture. So yeah. Again, guys, all of this is transitional. Okay, we don't have answers about exactly when this is going to happen, because there's still more dominoes that need to fall before we can get an exact answer about when all this stuff is definitely going to take place. It's all meant to be kept hush-hush right now, because there's a lot of things that really need attention right now, right? So people are realizing that there are authorities that have been milking this COVID for a very long time. Well, that needs to be dealt with, right? People coming together and standing up and being able to end restrictions, right? That needs to be dealt with. Okay, so a lot of these things still need to be brought out onto the table and saying we've got to take care of these things first. And as that happens, there's going to be a lot more that will be shown that we personally have to take care of. But debt programs are only that for as long as the fiat system is around. And when that starts collapsing, there won't be any more debt. Okay, and so we're heading in that direction. Okay. Okay, here's one here from Gertie. Gertie says, hi Brad, what signs can be looked out for if you think you are a starseed and light worker? Well, I would say really to throw those things away. I would throw those ideas away. I would suggest looking much more into the non-dual rather than anything that pertains to duality, Because if you're looking at a light worker, then you're still seeing darkness as something bad. Okay? And darkness is not something bad. Darkness is something that's helping to educate you. That's helping you to shift yourself. Remember, like I said earlier, what you're here to do is to be completely and totally at peace with everything that the world is. That's how you go free. People who call themselves light workers don't see the world in that way. People who call themselves star seeds quite commonly don't see the world that way. And this is why I say it's good to really kind of throw those terms away, because they're not important. Okay? The whole idea is that it's you, right? If I just call myself a human being, then I'm still looking at a duality. If I'm calling myself a starseed, then I'm still looking at a duality. If I'm calling myself a light worker, I'm still calling myself a duality, going into duality here. When do I go into the non-dual? When do I realize that I simply am all-pervading, infinite, changeless consciousness? Because that's when I'm free. When I no longer identify myself as an object. When I no longer identify myself as a person. When I no longer identify myself with these labels, I'm free of them, right? So this is kind of giving you guys a little bit more of a bigger push forward and saying that come much more into the non-dual, into the way where everything simply is. Everything's simply the appearance of consciousness. And if I'm dabbling in the mind, then I'm basically falling for the traps of Maya, right? I'm not concerned about that. I'm working much more into the true alignment of knowing that I am infinite consciousness, that is who I am, that is my true nature. So this is what I would suggest, is just being able to throw those terms away. They're not really important. If we look into star seeds, we look into light workers in that sense. Like I said, people just get into that mentality of it's the light versus the dark. It's the good versus evil. Or this person's doing this to me, and oh my goodness, now my vibe is being killed. Or I'm getting into low vibration because of this person, right? This is all duality. And none of it's going to help you at all. We have to learn to throw it all away. So to come into the true non-dual, where you are that, where I am the self, where I am God consciousness, where I am the all-pervading, infinite, changeless consciousness, and I live like that. That's where I have peace. You see? It's not about the labels. If the labels you know are not bringing any form of peace to you, throw them away. It's kind of like something that Jesus once said. If your eye causes you to sin, gouge it out and throw it away. For it is better to go through life with just one eye, rather than being partially blinded to sin. Okay? So basically what's being said here is that whatever doesn't serve you, let it go, no matter how crucial you think it is to yourself. Right? Be free. That's the most important part. So therefore, realize that you are the totality. Realize that everything is perfect, and that I live in perfection, and that I am that perfection, and that I am not going to be discriminatory based upon how a person lives their life. Like I say, oh, they live this life, their life this way. Oh, woe is them. Horrible, horrible person. Right? And I get caught up in that trap. I get caught up in duality because now my love is conditional towards everyone and everything. And I'm not living in perfection. I'm living in imperfection because I'm conditionalized by how I see facets of life. And that is what you have to correct. You want to learn to live in the non-dual way. That's where you're free. Okay? Thanks for your question. Okay, guys, we're going to take one or two more questions. We're going to wrap up. Okay, let's go down the list a bit more here. Heather Tyler says, when will Big Pharma be irrelevant? When people aren't investing into it anymore. When it goes through greater states of exposure, okay? And we're just at the beginning of that right now. We're at the beginning wave of the idea of a Big Pharma, right? So they're just being further and further exposed. And when people realize that that's not the way to heal themselves, and they start looking into the true ways to heal themselves, that's where Big Pharma will not be around anymore, right? Same thing with big tech and all that stuff, right? When people start to realize the true nature, that is an alternative relating to those themes, then that's when they start to fall, okay? It could be a while, but nonetheless, all these exposures are happening, right? To end vaccinations and to end pill popping and all that stuff, right? All these artificial forms of quote-unquote medications, right? And coming much more into the true nature of healing yourself. Yes, you can work with healthy things, you can work with ethical foods, you can work with herbs and all that, but most importantly, you're learning to work with the heart. Humanity still has a long way to go to realize that. But more and more of us are learning this each and every single day, so we have to be the pioneers to help educate. And that's what we're here to do. Okay? Okay, guys, one more question. I think we're going to wrap up. Okay, I think we'll end with this one with Lakshi. Lakshi says, "Hi, Brad. Is there going to be a change in Sri Lanka with the present corrupt government?" All right, let's take a look here with Sri Lanka. Okay, so in the past with Sri Lanka, yes, things are changing. There's things moving in a brand new direction. Okay, so again, as we're looking to the present time right now, the corrupt are being shafted out. Okay, they're being left behind. They're being taken out here. But there's a lot of kind of secrecy about what's happening with Sri Lanka right now. So we basically have secrets here in the behind the scenes of what's going on, but it is definitely a change in government. So things are shifting. Things are moving around in that way. So basically, they're just creating smear campaigns for the government itself that has been run under cabal rule, and they're basically just smearing them right now, and basically just, again, kind of tossing mud in their eye and getting the people to work against them. And that's going to lead to a change in rhetoric. That's going to change the entire infrastructure of their current governmental process. And yes, there's going to be some shifts. So maybe there's doppelgangers that are going to come in the way as well too, to basically overthrow the current regime of government there in Sri Lanka. So they're basically getting mud in their eye, right? All this stuff is meant to accelerate and intensify so that the people will no longer trust any form of their government from what they represent. And like again, it's just all part of the role that's been playing out here for the past several months, particularly with Sri Lanka, all right? So yes, they're going through a big governmental change right now. They're going through smear campaigns. They're going to be taking a lot of these old leaders out. They may have already been taken out already, and they're probably just going to put doppelgangers in place until the full transitional government comes in altogether. So it's a smear campaign to take down the current regime, to put a transitional regime in its place so that that country can move forward in a much more better way. So that's what's taking place with Sri Lanka right now. Okay? Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up now for today for New Earth TV Live. So again, we'll be back on Thursday for New Earth Insights at 11 a.m. Pacific. And of course, New Earth TV Live next week, next Friday. So thank you, guys. Thank you for joining me today. Had a great interaction with all of you. And I'll speak to you again in another perspective of now. Take care.
Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new Body Deck Special Edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.